Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly command respect, while others struggle to be taken seriously no matter how intelligent or talented they are? What if I told you that beneath almost every human interaction lies one invisible force shaping behavior, emotions, and decisions? In the status game, Will Storr reveals a truth most people don't like to admit. Humans are obsessed with status, and much of what we do only makes sense when you understand this hidden game. From careers and relationships to beliefs and social media, status quietly controls the direction of our lives. Status is not a modern invention. Long before money, governments, or technology, status decided who survived. High-status individuals gained access to resources, protection, and influence, while low-status individuals were ignored or excluded. Evolution wired our brains to constantly scan our social position, because in the past, low status could mean death. Even today, that ancient software is still running. Your brain is always asking, do I matter here? Am I respected? Where do I rank? This background calculation shapes confidence, anxiety, ambition, and even depression. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is that status is not fixed. It's relative and contextual. You can be high status in one group and invisible in another. A successful businessman might feel powerful at work, but insecure at a family gathering. A popular influencer might feel admired online, but insignificant in real life. This explains why people constantly seek environments where their status is validated. We don't just want success, we want recognition in the right audience. Storr explains that humans play different status games, each with its own rules. In some games, wealth and dominance win. In others, intelligence, creativity, morality, or victimhood earn admiration. This is why modern society feels so divided. People aren't just arguing ideas, they're defending their position in different status hierarchies. When someone challenges your belief, it doesn't feel like disagreement, it feels like a threat to your worth. That's why debates turn emotional so fast. Another uncomfortable truth the book reveals is that status feels like truth. When a belief boosts your status, your brain rewards you with certainty and confidence. When a belief threatens your status, your brain reacts with anger or denial. This is why people cling to opinions even when evidence contradicts them. They're not protecting facts, they're protecting identity. Losing an argument can feel like losing value as a human being. Understanding this explains why logic alone rarely changes minds.
Social media has amplified the status game to a level humans were never designed for. Likes, followers, shares, and views have turned status into numbers. Every post becomes a bid for attention. Every notification becomes a hit of validation. The brain reacts to digital approval the same way it reacts to real-world dominance. Dopamine is released. That's why social media is addictive and emotionally exhausting. There is always someone doing better, and the comparison never ends. Storr also highlights how moral status has become one of the most powerful currencies today. Being seen as good, aware, or on the right side brings admiration. But when morality becomes a status competition, people stop searching for truth and start performing virtue. Disagreement becomes hostility, and conversations become battles. People aren't asking, is this true? They're asking, does this raise my standing? This explains why outrage spreads faster than understanding. Low status doesn't just hurt emotionally, it hurts physically. Research shows that social rejection activates the same pain centers in the brain as physical injury. That's why embarrassment lingers, and humiliation can haunt people for years. Humans will do almost anything to escape low status. Lie, exaggerate, conform, self-sabotage, or even join destructive groups. Many bad life choices suddenly make sense when you see them as desperate attempts to feel significant. But the status game is not about becoming dominant or manipulative. It's about awareness and choice. You cannot escape status completely, but you can choose which games you play. Some games reward endless comparison, stress, and emptiness. Others reward mastery, contribution, learning, and purpose. The tragedy is that many people chase status in games they don't even value, simply because society told them those games matter. High performers and fulfilled people often win by opting out of toxic games. They stop measuring themselves by likes, applause, or approval. Instead, they build identity around progress, skill, and internal standards. When your self-worth comes from growth rather than validation, you become harder to manipulate.
Ironically, people who don't chase status often gain it naturally, because confidence without desperation is rare and magnetic. One of the most dangerous illusions is believing you are above the status game. That belief itself can become a status move. True freedom comes from admitting that status affects you, then designing your life so it controls you less. Once you see the game clearly, you stop taking things personally. Criticism loses its sting. Comparison loses its power. You realize that most conflicts are not about right or wrong. They're about hierarchy.
In the end, the status game gives you a new lens to understand human behavior. Why ambition drives you, why insults hurt, why success sometimes feels empty, and why peace comes when you stop letting other people's scorecards define your value. You don't win by being the highest status person in every room. You win by choosing games that don't destroy you while you play them. If this video made you see people and yourself more clearly, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into psychology, power, and human behavior. And comment below, which status game do you think controls modern society the most? Money, morality, or social media? Because once you see the game, you don't have to play it blindly anymore.